The rain had always reminded Emily of that night. The night a stranger had saved her life and then vanished without a trace. It was a storm that split her world in two, leaving her with a memory that refused to fade. Years later, standing by the window of a quiet house on the outskirts of town, she often wondered if fate had played a cruel trick on her, giving her a savior only to steal him away before she could even thank him properly. His name was Daniel, though she had only learned that afterward from the police report. The man who had pulled her from the wreckage of her car when it had slid off the old river road and almost into the freezing current. They said he'd disappeared before the ambulance even arrived, leaving only his jacket around her shoulders and a smear of blood on the gravel. For years, she thought of him as a ghost, someone who'd appeared only long enough to remind her that life was worth saving. But time moved on, and she met Michael. Kind, reliable, someone who made her laugh when she needed it most. He was Daniel's best friend, though she didn't know that at first, not until the day Daniel returned. By then, it was too late. She was already wearing Michael's ring. Their wedding was simple, filled with laughter. Yet deep down, Emily felt the echo of something unfinished, as if she'd left a door open somewhere in her heart that no vow could close. Michael loved her deeply, but he carried his own secrets. A quiet guilt that surfaced in restless nights and glances he couldn't hold for long. Whenever she asked, he'd smile and change the subject, saying, "Some things are better left in the past." But fate has a way of unearthing what we try to bury. It began on a winter evening, 10 years after her wedding, when Emily found an old photograph while cleaning the attic. A picture of Michael and Daniel standing together by a lake, younger, brighter, unaware of the storm that life would one day bring. On the back of the photo were the words, "Brothers by choice, divided by love." Her hands trembled as she read it. That night, sleep wouldn't come. She sat by the fire, staring at the photograph, and whispered to the empty room, "Daniel, why did you leave?" The answer came 3 days later, in the form of a letter with no return address. The handwriting was familiar, strong, but uneven, as if written by someone who hadn't held a pen in years. It said, "If you're reading this, it means the truth can no longer stay buried. Meet me where the cliffs meet the sea, on the night of the first storm. You deserve to know." When the storm came, Emily drove through the wind and rain, as if guided by something more than curiosity. A pull deep in her chest, ancient and undeniable. The cliffs were the same place she'd nearly died years ago, where Daniel had once pulled her back from the edge. When she arrived, lightning split the sky, and through the flash she saw him. Older, thinner, but unmistakable. His eyes still carried the same quiet fire, the same sorrow that had once saved her. "Emily," he said softly, as if her name itself could undo a decade of silence. She could barely breathe. "Daniel, I thought you were dead." He smiled faintly. "I was, in every way that mattered." She stepped closer, tears blurring her vision. "Why now?" she asked. He hesitated. "Because you married the wrong man." The words cut through the wind like glass. "Michael wasn't who you thought he was. That night you crashed. He was there too." She froze. "What do you mean?" Daniel's voice trembled. "He caused it. Not on purpose. He'd been drinking, driving too fast. When he saw your car go over, he panicked and called me. I got there first. I saved you. But when I turned back, he was gone. He made me promise never to tell you Emily staggered backward, the world spinning. That's not possible. But Daniel's eyes told her it was true. He begged me to leave town," Daniel continued. "He said if you knew, it would destroy you both. I couldn't live with the lie, so I disappeared. The thunder drowned her sobs. Why tell me now? She cried. He looked at her with that same quiet sadness. Because he's gone, Emily. He left last week. The note said he couldn't carry it anymore.